Everyone, back, but on a Monday afternoon. I came on today to discuss an article I saw on Bloomberg News today that a friend of mine sent me. I want to discuss the article, and I want to discuss ways for songwriters and musicians to increase their income through songwriting or through other means, and kind of what the implications of this article are about. It's really pretty interesting because I did some math on my own songwriting royalties too, which we'll talk about here in a second. Now, I'm continuing on my sale from last week for the next 4 days, my Guitar Virtuoso bundle. People asked me if I would let it go for another week, which I am. What's in my bundle is my Arpeggio Masterclass, which came out last year, which has got in-depth lessons on mastering arpeggios across the fingerboard, musical notation, and guitar tabs. It's really these are the cornerstones of compelling melodies, improvisation, and learning your fingerboard, knowing where the notes are and where the good notes are, right? Has guitar profiles in it. The other thing is my Quick Lessons Pro guitar course, which actually builds upon the arpeggio course. And it's more about how to use these things in building solos. And it's a 5-hour video course. It's got musical notation and guitar tabs, just like the arpeggio course does, and it has guitar profiles. And then, of course, if you're a beginner, it has my beginner guitar course that goes along with it as well. All of these 3 courses for $75. This is how I fund my channel, so I'm able to bring you things, videos, interviews, all the different things. I pay Tom and John through that and keep the channel going. Okay, let's talk about this particular article. So the article was today in Bloomberg, and it's really kind of shocking. It's called "Songwriters Say Streaming Doesn't Pay the Bills." It's literally in today's Bloomberg.com. Okay, so what it says, let me, I have some notes on this. So songwriters struggles. The majority of songwriters, 74%, so 3/4, earn under $10,000 annually, with only 10% making over $30,000, highlighting the financial challenges in the industry. Okay. Streaming income issues. A lack of meaningful streaming income and difficulty standing out amongst the vast number of new songs, over 100,000 daily, are the biggest challenges for songwriters, which was part of my video that I recently did, that there's 100,000 new songs on streaming platforms like Spotify that you're competing against, extra songs you're competing against every day. We'll talk about some of the other things because it talks about the impact of generative AI. But I want to just tell you just some facts on my channel, okay, or on my songwriting. So I went back and I looked at my last 4 quarters from my BMI statements, okay, and Sound Exchange. And I'm not embarrassed to say that I'm part of the 74% that make under $10,000 annually. And that's with having had one #1 song, but I have... My last royalty statement is 27 pages long. My last BMI statement. You get 4 a year. That last statement paid $2,341. Okay. The statement before that paid $1,429. Statement before that, the quarter before that, $1,472. And then the 4 statements ago, to round out the year, was $1,202. That equals $6,444. My 4 Sound Exchange payments were all under $1,000. Okay, so I'm at about $9,600 for the year. So I'm barely under the $10,000, but I am part of the 74% of people that earn less than $10,000 annually. Now, other income that I receive from making records is my production money my production royalties that I get. And I get statements 2 times a year. And they pay about, it's split between probably 5 different records or 6 different records. And it pays, on the average, about $10,000 a year total. So the two are, they vary slightly, but they don't vary by more than $1,000. Sometimes it's a little under 10,000, sometimes it's 11,000. But if you put together the two things, my songwriting royalties and my production royalties, I'm still under the $30,000, which is in the top 10% make over $30,000. Now, who is included in that top 10%? All the biggest artists in the world are in there. Everybody you can think of. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Drake, The Weeknd. These are the people. Not just them, if Ryan Tedder writes a song, he's one of the people getting these things. Max Martin, they're in the top 10%. Now, some of these people make millions of dollars, but it's very few. So then you have other things that it addressed in the article about generative AI, the impact of it. And it said AI could disrupt the songwriting space by enabling more people to generate lyrics. Well, AI can not only generate lyrics. So I had dinner with a friend of mine that runs a huge publishing company when I was up in Nashville last week. I interviewed Keith Urban, which is coming out soon. And the gentleman that I had dinner with told me that I asked him, how often does ChatGPT get used in songwriting sessions nowadays? 100%. All songwriting, it doesn't matter whether it's pop, whether it's country, whether it's hip hop, does not matter. ChatGPT gets used. And that doesn't just get used for writing lyrics and lyric ideas. It also helps so that people don't encroach on or infringe on things that have already been written, right? So that's that's actually a good thing. Hey, has this lyric ever been used? You can feed the lyrics in and tell if it's, there are famous songs that have these particular lyrics, so that it can provide a positive thing there too. We're not talking about completely generative AI music flooding the zone either. Then next thing, industry dynamic shift. It says songwriters may need to adapt by engaging more with fans on social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, sharing their writing processes and collaborating more visibly with recording artists. Okay, I'll give you an example. Those of you that know Jake, JVKE, who's a TikToker and Instagrammer, YouTuber, that he's got 20 million monthly listeners. His songs, what are his big songs here? Tom? Let's see here. Can Tom hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, he's got, Golden Hour, and then This Is What Falling in Love Feels Like. Those are two of his huge songs that he has. Golden Hour has 1.1 billion streams. Now, he actually became huge because of TikTok. So by sharing his music through TikTok and the writing process became huge. Another person, Charlie Puth, is a genius at doing this. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that are younger artists have learned how to use platforms like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram to push their songs or parts of their songs to generate interest right when the record comes out or even before the record comes out. Sometimes you can get these things really cooking and get that, TikTok to Spotify connection, because that's where you're going to make money. Okay. the beautiful thing about social media platforms like here, like TikTok, like Instagram, especially like TikTok and Spotify, because they're really connected, is that it's free to post on TikTok. Okay. That is, that is something that, there's never been anything like that before. Jake without TikTok has no Spotify followers. None. Charlie Puth was famous before TikTok. He was able to use TikTok in order to really creatively promote his songs on there and kind of the construction of them. He does videos that are kind of how to build songs. And I think it's really fascinating, really, really good use of this. Then they had a thing in here about the legal push. So the National Music Publishers Association is pushing for an overhaul of the Copyright Act to allow songwriters to negotiate royalties directly with streaming services, potentially creating new challenges. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I do not think it's going to happen. And then it said earning highlights. Well, what is one company that's done well, that's had a 7% average growth year after year? Live Nation. Live music is doing extremely well now. SiriusXM is reporting a 3% revenue decline over the past year and loss of 100,000 subscribers despite launching Apple Podcast subscriptions. Okay. How do you support artists? And this is, so there's two sides for this, because it's like, how do you support artists and how do you support yourself as an artist? Because they're two sides of the same coin. Okay. One way you can subscribe to support artists is subscribe to their social media platforms. Now, I never do a call to action in my live streams. I never say, please subscribe to this channel and Rick Beato too. I don't do that, honestly, because I don't remember to do that. It honestly, Tom's laughing. Every time I finish a stream, I'm like, why didn't I tell people to subscribe to the channel? A part of it's because I figure like the people that this goes out to, I'm sure there's plenty of people on here that are not subscribed to this channel. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It actually helps me increase the number of subscribers on my channel. It helps getting these interviews easier. Although they've gotten, I'm kind of at the point where the people that I'm trying to get are almost ungettable. Not all of them, but the older artists that are much older than me are almost ungettable. Or if they're gettable, it's just extremely difficult. It'll take a couple years to do. But I have some great things coming up. Another thing, buy vinyl, buy merch, and buy tangible goods. Okay, tangible goods, things that you can hold. Vinyl is something that has a high profit margin for the artist. Okay, so when you buy their vinyl, it helps them. When you buy their merch, it helps them. It really does. You want to support your artists that you're really big fans of? Do that. Buy tangible goods that they have. If they sell koozies, if they sell t-shirts, if they sell whatever they sell, socks, I don't know what people sell, hats, it's great. Merch is a great thing. Go see them live. Probably one of the biggest things that you can do is seeing them live. In addition to going to see them live, if you have the resources, go to the meet and greets. The meet and greet that happens typically before the concerts are a way that artists can make extra money. And even a lot of big artists do them because they're really profitable. They make up for, they augment selling merch. And it's also a way to make a direct connection with the artist that you may have been fans for a long time with. I've been to meet and greets. I remember I went to a guitar class when I interviewed Dweezil Zappa, 7 years ago probably. I went early for Dweezil's sound check and interviewed him on stage here in Atlanta. And then he did like a little guitar lesson for probably 30 guitarists and everything. And I sat and watched that. And it was fascinating that he did that. And people do things like that. They will do guitarists. If you go see if you go see guitarists like that, bass players, whoever, people will go out and they will do lessons and things like that. You can support people through crowdfunding like Patreon, okay? And other things. I have the Beato Club. That's a way that people can support me. There are sponsorships, clothing, sneakers, jeans, energy drinks, things like that. And then the last thing is through if people have courses. Now, I decided early in my channel to forego sponsorships because I didn't want to be beholden to people that had to approve my videos, they had to approve my ad reads, and I thought that it was tacky, maybe, to I didn't want to do an ad read for something, even if it was something that I use. And I'm trying to think of, what I could do an ad read for. I don't know. I can't even think of anything that I would do an ad read for. I'm not interested in doing that. And that just has always been part of my channel. I sell my educational courses because they're a way for people to engage more with music. And selfishly, it's a way for them to engage more with my video content. When I'm talking about something, and typically my live streams are usually music oriented, they're music theory oriented, they're maybe oriented on songs from a particular record or something. It could be a Van Halen song or a Beatles song or a Pink Floyd song or a Deftones song or Rage Against the Machine or whatever it is, Led Zeppelin song. And I'm talking about the chord progression. And I start naming chords, the 1 chord to the 3 chord to the 6 chord to the 2 chord to the 5 chord. What does that even mean? Well, I created my courses to teach you these things. My Beato Book Interactive course, video course, my ear training course. For the guitar stuff, my Virtuoso bundle that I have here, which are made up of 3 different courses. I said it at the beginning of the thing, but these are the way, like when I do an ad read, which is essentially what this is, people that sell courses that have music channels on YouTube do this. It's this is how people augment what they make on their videos, especially if you do videos. I just did a video on where I interviewed Alan Parsons, and it got demonetized immediately by Pink Floyd. It just did. I knew it would get demonetized. They didn't take the video down, but Alan Parsons was here. I paid the crew to come in to film it and everything. I want a great video with the great Alan Parsons, but it gets demonetized. So no money from that, right? I can't pay my guys to help me do this, especially had my heart surgery and everything. And they're, these guys are working, Tom and John and Mike, to really help me out, especially now. I feel like I'm pretty much back to normal now, but it's been a tough 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks today since I had my surgery. And I think it's important for people to have knowledge of music. And why? Why is it important to learn the guitar or the piano or you learn music theory? I'll tell you why. Because when AI comes out, it knows all these things, okay? So it has this distinct advantage of knowing everything that you haven't had a chance to learn yet. And this is what you're competing against. But is it really that hard to compete against AI? No, it's actually not. You can learn all of music theory in 2 years of disciplined study. And when I say all of music theory, I'm talking about all the music theory you would learn in college, including stuff that you would never use, like figured bass, 4-part soprano, alto, tenor, bass, SATB writing, Uh, any of the things that you would learn in basic music theory, the 4 semesters of music theory that you would take in music school. You don't need that. But what do you need? The stuff that you still learn in music theory 1 and 2, Roman numeral analysis or chord analysis is very important. This is why I harp on things like, what are the chords in a key? These are the things that AI knows because it's been fed all this data of how songs are constructed. And it will construct them with all these parts. But you know what? You guys can learn that too. You can buy my course. You can buy someone else's course. You should probably buy my course though. But this is a way that people can equalize the playing field because you can know as much as these stupid programs. They're not stupid programs. You can't attach a level of intellect to them because they're just programs. I guess they're algorithms. I don't know. It's very important to learn these things though. Why buy my arpeggio course and my guitar course? Because it will help you learn the guitar neck. It'll teach you what notes are in each chord. If you're in a C major chord, it'll show you where the notes C, E, and G are all over the neck. It'll show you the different inversions. It will show you a C major 7 chord, a C minor 7 flat 6 chord, and the arpeggios that go along with them. If you go to my quick lessons, it'll teach you how to improvise over minor 7th chords, over major add 9 chords, over all these different chord progressions. And all of that is music theory. And if you don't play an instrument, you can get the guitar course. It's $75 for that, and that to me is a great bargain for learning how to play and increasing your knowledge base so that you don't get left behind. Because at a certain point, I see a lot of these posts here. What's his name? Alex Hermosi and all the people that pop up on all these, I don't know why I get all these Instagram people like this they're all these business people I have no idea why I get all these things, but they're like, there's people there's people that are afraid of AI or people that, what is it? No, you're going to lose your job to AI. The people that are not going to lose their job are the ones that know how to use it, right? Okay, and it's funny. It's like, well, the thing about AI music is that it's actually a very limited, scope of things that you need to learn to be able to do this. Earl says, Rick, love your channel. I have all your books and tutorial courses. For anyone who has not checked them out, I highly recommend them. Earl, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. You can learn all the theory of music. I said this. You can literally learn not only all the theory of music, you can learn to identify things that you hear. What's happening when you're feeding MP3s into these AI programs? It's identifying everything. It's identifying the chord progressions, the melodies, the relationship of the melodies to the chords, the rhythmic composition of the melodies, all this stuff. What is the orchestration? So Kevin writes, how to support artists. Subscribe, social media, buy vinyl, buy merch, go see them live, go meet and greets, crowdfund. There's all be in the description after. These are very, very easy things to do. If you like someone, if you love their music, I'm going to start reaching out to new artists that I just reached out to an artist who is a great singer. I've seen her. I've been watching her videos on Instagram for the past a couple months. I reached out to her. I don't know if she'll write me back or anything, but I would love to have her on the channel. She has 46,000 followers. That's it. But her songs are beautiful, beautiful. And I want to have her on my channel. And I want to support people that I follow like I do when I have, people like Matteo Mancuso or Mohini Day Or Mike Dawes, I have coming in again. I love Mike. Mike's one of the greatest players out there in the world. And Pliny and Mateus Asado and all these players that I have tremendous respect for, that I've invited in to these people that are just absolutely brilliant players, young players. And this is something that I can do with my channel. I can't make someone have a hit record. So if you send me your songs and say, Rick, promote me, I can have people come in and perform live on here that people that I really like, and I can do that. That doesn't mean that they're going to get millions of followers. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But it can help. It can absolutely help. Dev writes, Rick, I bought your courses, have gotten better at the guitar, ear training, better relationship with my life, better car insurance rates. Amazing. That's pretty funny. I like that. Let's see. If you're 10 times better with AI, then you're only 0.1 good at whatever you are doing. I'm not sure if that's what that means, Arturs. Is that true? But this is really, this occurred to me today about AI. I was thinking about it when I read this thing, and I was just like, okay, so you feed the stuff in there, right? You feed all the whoever's music in there. You feed Taylor Swift's music in there. You feed the Beatles music in there. You feed the Bee Gees music in there. You feed the OJ's music in there. You feed Barry White's music in there. You feed whatever, or you just study it yourself and you just learn it. And then you synthesize it through your own personality. This is how people write music anyways. That's how it's done. If I want to be a Led Zeppelin, if I want to be influenced by Led Zeppelin, I'll listen to a lot of Led Zeppelin. But it's going to have some Rick Beato in it, of course, right? It has to come through your own filter. And that's basically what AI is doing. But your ability to learn this stuff, you have the same opportunity that these AI programs have. You just need to do the work, right? That's the important thing. These are the things that I harp on. That's why I always push my courses. That's the equalizer right there. Click on another tab. Buy these things. I'm not shy about saying that. It'll help you improve as a musician. And the better you become as a musician, the more you recognize these devices that are used. And the more you're able to use them in your own songwriting. Because there is no mystery to this stuff, really, right? It's just about learning it. It's about knowing what the 2 chord sounds like in a major key, and the 5 chord, and the 1 chord, and the 6 chord. And if you go to a 3 major or a flat 6 dominant chord, or whatever it is, you just recognize them through practice. My ear training program has hundreds and hundreds of modules to help you practice these things. My arpeggio course helps you practice these things on the guitar. The quick lessons course, all part of my bundle for $75, helps you learn how to utilize these arpeggios in lines and in improvising. And like I said, if you're a beginner and you want to get into these other 2 courses where you're learning your arpeggios and how to improvise, you start out by just learning how to hold the guitar and strum chords and learn your favorite songs. Okay? You kind of learn all this stuff together. It's really, AI has no advantage over you. It can just do things fast. That's it. But once you learn it, you got it. Everything that I learned, honestly, for my channel, other than the engineering part, I learned it by the time I was 25 or 26. Literally, when I was 26, I could have done this channel. Other than the analysis of how to match the sounds that I hear. If I'm doing a what makes a song great, and I'm trying to match the sound of Blink-182, and I'm using my Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier, and I'm going through a Neve 1073 mic pre or something like that. Those are skills I gained in my late 30s, 40s, into my 50s. Okay? You can learn this information at any time in your life. It is never too late to learn this stuff, ever. Learn stuff on your guitar, learn to develop your ear. I'm learning things every single day because I'm studying every single day. Emmy says, do you think AI will ever surpass human writers and composers? Lots of love from Japan. Surpass or equal? The thing that AI can do is it can do things quickly. Okay? Doesn't mean it can do things better. It just can do it quickly. So, but you know what? The greatest pieces ever written, many of them were written over time, right? So, that's the thing. Don't let it intimidate you. You can learn this stuff. You just have to study. And the best place to do it is to invest in your own education, right? I teach music courses. I have music courses on my channel. That's what I do. I think there's nothing better to do. And that's the great equalizer. That's all I'm going to say about this. Am I shocked by this thing from Bloomberg today? No. When I went and added up how much money I made, I was like, I wonder if I'm under $10,000. Yes, I am. I'm under the 10,000. And when you add my production, I'm not embarrassed by it. When you add my production money together, I'm under 30,000 still. You put them both together, it's probably, depending on the year, but it's probably 28 to 30,000 or so, something like that. But don't forget, this is a lifetime. I've had a publishing deal since 1992. So divide that money from 1992 to 2024. I don't know what that money equals, but it's very little a year. It's really, really a tiny amount of money per year from that. Ryan says, what's the guitar music industry going to do when nobody cares or learns music? Buy your products. Artists are only useful to push. I'm not sure what this means. Gas is intentional. Gear acquisition syndrome. Is that what it is? Gear acquisition syndrome. Do I think it's lightning about, or most songwriters aren't that prolific? It depends. I mean, I can't generalize about songwriters. Can't do that. All right. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a great rest of your week. This has been really, really interesting. If you want to go to that Bloomberg thing, I think it's behind a paywall. Aaron sent it to me earlier, so I checked it out. But it was a fascinating article. And there's one from the week before from the same author that I'm going to read right after I finish the stream. So thank you guys. Have a great, great rest of your week.